Hey guys, this is gonna be a beginner's guide for a brand new gacha game called HUNTER NenxSURVIVOR. The first thing that you have to know, you will obtain yourself A or even multiple S rank characters here in this game for free. I personally got Hisoka, and Hisoka is the best character in the game. So if not everyone obtains them, that is your reroll target. If you wanna reroll, you wanna do this for Hisoka. Just in case you would not unlock yourself Hisoka as your free S-star character, you can go here, click on your profile picture in the left upper corner, and here you will find the action to delete your account. Do that and try your luck again if you wish to do so. Now, of course, since this is a gacha game, we have to check out the banners right here. One is featuring Killua, one is featuring Gon, and yeah, they are about the same when it comes to power level, so choose whoever you like more if you can't help yourself and you have to pull for something, right? You can see this right here. With 50 pulls, you can guarantee yourself one copy of one of those characters. But in general, as it always is in gacha games, we skip the first banners because we have the option to obtain the best character in the game by re-rolling anyways. And one more note, this pull currency here is extremely scarce and extremely expensive. To put into perspective what I'm talking about, you can check this right here, that for the pull currency, this is, by the way, this is the only way to obtain yourself the pull currency. You need 50 of those tickets, and that would only 50 of those tickets would guarantee you one character. You can see this right here in these options. In order for you to get one of those featured S-rank characters 100% guaranteed, you would need to spend 60 bucks. That is of course way overpriced. This is extremely predatory, but this is how it is in this game. That is what you're gonna have to deal with. That's why you should reroll and you should skip these first banners, as these two characters, they are absolutely not worth pulling for because the power level is not higher than it would be for other 6-star characters, like for example Hisoka. Alright, additionally, you will obtain, as you can see here, a lot of copies from this A character Gon anyways. It will be enough currency or enough copies of Gon to make him or create the S-star variant of him anyways. So that is another very strong reason as to why you should not pull. But it gets better because you will not use these copies of Gon to evolve him. You will use these copies of Gon to evolve Hisoka or whatever your other leader is going to be, right? You can see this right here, 2 copies of Hisoka, boom, I can evolve him. And here you can see that the stat increases that Hisoka gains from this are actually very tremendous. So you're of course gonna go ahead and do that to evolve him. You can see Elite 1 to Elite 2 is what that gave me. Stat increases, right? We love to see that. Now, once you would level up a character to a specific rarity, as you can see right here, not only do I need 3 A rank characters, but I would need to obtain myself another copy for Hisoka. So if that's the case, once you hit that point, I would now use my Gon copies probably to either level him up or save them for a later damage dealer, which that is probably what I'm gonna decide to do here. Alright, back to the gacha system because it doesn't stop here. We have other banners. I would call them support banners. They are called memory scene. And right here, we of course gonna have multiple choices. And if you decide to pull on one of these banners, which you shouldn't, because the currency that you need to use to pull on these banners is also used to refresh your stamina. And that is way better than pulling on these banners right here. So don't pull, save the currency up and refresh your stamina with that currency. You can see this right here. Okay, now if you can't help yourself, then the banner that you should pull for here is the first one, called the uninvited guest. The reason is the following, because in your memory scenes here you have 6 different kind of memory scenes that you can equip. If you would now go back to these banners and you would pull on a Sweets Party, then you would pull on a banner that where the featured memory scene is a memory scene that you obtain already for free in this slot right here. Therefore, that is of course not worth it. The other memory scene that you can obtain from the uninvited guest banner is from a different kind of memory scene. And this one has more benefit to you, more value, because here the free-to-play memory scene that you get is only A tier. So if you would pull on this banner, you would obtain an S tier memory scene, and you could replace an A rank memory scene just like that. But you can already see replacing a memory scene here, that is not going to be worth early on, especially not because of the reason that I mentioned earlier, that you need the same currency to refresh your stamina. Okay, now there is more. If you go to adventure, then you have, like beginner packs, of course, right? You can decide for yourself. Spending the $1 on these 10 pulls is definitely super worth it. And we're gonna have multiple game passes here. We have the monthly pass, which increases our stamina limit and gives us a little bit of stamina refresh currency, right? We have a lifetime license here, which we would obtain the S rank Gone character for 35 bucks. Okay, the one that you want to definitely buy though, this is kind of a must purchase, is this ad-free license right here, because you want to go ad-free. This will cost you 10 bucks, by the way. It also increases your stamina limit. It also gives you some Nen crystals, the one that we need to refresh our stamina, and so on and so forth. But going ad-free is super, super important, because not only do you have to watch ads here and there, right? In the daily missions, or if you can see this here, to refresh your stamina, you need to watch an ad. These ads are pretty long, right? It's 2 ads in total, and it's a huge wait time. But if you buy this ad-free license, you can see I don't need to watch any ad whatsoever. The most important reason why you need to buy this ad-free license for 10 bucks every month is that if you go into a battle, right, the game is not all too easy to begin with. Each and every one of those stages, they have a mechanic that is mostly presented to you in a boss fight, where there is something undodgeable that will kill you, like pretty much 100% guaranteed. So you're gonna die. In order to revive yourself once, you need to watch an ad. And you will have to do this in pretty much every single stage, in every single fight, right? You don't want to do that. You want to be revived just for free without watching the ad. Trust me, if you don't buy this ad-free license, these ads that this game throws at you, they will become very, very annoying. So I mean, I would recommend that if you want to play this game without it being extremely annoying, buy this ad-free license, spend the 10 bucks per month on this game. Now we have one more resource in this game, and that is simply gold that you will acquire by playing the game. Here, pressing start, beating these stages, going on to these stages. Okay, the way you want to use your gold, the priority list is, of course, first, you're gonna use this to upgrade your characters. Then you're gonna use this to upgrade and or evolve your memory scenes, right? Needless to explain. And then you go here to system reinforcement, and you want to climb this here as fast as possible. That is probably even the second highest priority. So level up your characters first with your gold, then go to system reinforcement, and if you have leftovers enough to evolve your memory scenes, then you're gonna go ahead and do that. Okay, so with all of that being out of the way, we can actually hop into a battle, and I can show you some priorities when it comes to what perks you should actually prioritize in taking. So let's just play a match all together. See right here, the highest priority when it comes to these perks is always that you go for your leader upgrades. My leader is Hisoka, and I can see him here, and this perk would add this Reaper's Trump. See, it adds 1+ count, or 1+ throw to my basic attack. That is always what you're going to take. You always take the perks for your leader card first, as if you evolve this enough, you can see, right, these perks have stars attached to them, and whenever you would take the same perk over and over and over again, if you maxed out all of these stars, this perk evolves, and you want to evolve the perk for your leader card, for your main damage leader first. Other than that, you want to get projectiles out on the field. Look here, Soaring Arrow, the one on the left hand side, it fires arrow into the sky, raining them down at nearby enemies. That is not too shabby, but that is not what you want, because it is not a permanent projectile on the field. Look at the mid, at the white, Gurinu. Here there appears like a gorilla that supports you. It kind of acts like a projectile as well, but not really. And here on the right hand side, the 3 floating hands dance. That is what is a permanent projectile on the field. It is a floating left hand that tracks enemies down. There are shurikens and so on and so forth, as I will show you moving forward. But that is also a very, very high priority. You want to get projectiles out on the field. You can see this right here. I'm throwing cards with my basic attack, right? And there is a floating hand that consistently hits enemies, and you want to get like 2 or 3 of those projectiles out on the field. Like this one right here with a quick attack on the right hand side throws a rebounding ball that knocks enemies back. That is another. That is a ball that is continuously wreaking havoc on the entire field. Or here, throws piercing shurikens in all directions. Shuriken will be flying around the map damaging enemies, while on the left hand side the Julian, she just chops enemies with melee attacks. That is not what we necessarily want to go for. We want to go for these objectives. Which one you take right here is up to you. Shurikens, I prefer the shurikens because, as you can see, I throw them out with my character just as I throw out my basic attacks. So the synergy here would come alive better than having a floating around projectile like this fist that you can see here. This fist, it just flies around and it hits enemies at all ranges, while the shuriken hits the enemies, since I throw them out like my cards, that are the closest to me, and therefore I kill the enemies off more consistently that are approaching me and want to damage me by hitting me. You know what I mean? And here now, right, I have the shurikens out, I have the hand out, and there was something else I have, right? So 3 projectiles out on the map, that is enough. So what I now want to focus on is leveling this up. I have the hand out, so I want to increase the hand's speed right here. I could also go like for another objective with the ball, right? But yeah, focus on like 2-3 things and then level them up as much as possible. You can see I'm throwing cards, I'm throwing shurikens, and I have a hand wreaking havoc on the field just randomly at like every single range, so to speak. And here's another very, very important perk, that if you don't have like the choice of picking a perk for your leader or leveling up a very, very important projectile like the shurikens, for example, in my case right here, you always want to increase the aura pickup range by 100%. That is a perk that you only ever take once. Same goes for movement speed. There will be a perk here that increases your movement speed by like 10%. Sometimes it's another perk that only increases it by 5. Those are perks that are necessary and that you always want to take, but only one time. So aura pickup. You can see these dots that are sitting on the field right here. They spawn whenever I kill an enemy off, and they give me experience points, so to speak. This is called aura in this game. I have to pick up this aura that lays on the field for me to unlock these perks right here. And you can see, right? Here I could shoot coins. I already shoot shurikens. I already have my hand. I don't need another projectile on the field. Julian, we already talked about that. You would prefer to not have melee attacks but rather shoot at range. And here I play the hero Netero, and he throws out some wind fists, let me say it like that. And here he would throw out one more of these fists, right? We already figured out that we want to always take the perks that increase what the characters that we play are doing. So Netero is the pick right here. Right, and then you run around the map, you pick up everything that is on the ground if you can, and you proceed your playthrough like this. Here, in this case, this one is a little bit questionable. Here, you can go for the recover HP every 5 seconds, you know what I mean? This is not too bad either. If you take this like 2 or 3 times, you will actually regenerate HP like a madman. But since I already play here, I already have Leorio taking care of the healing, I don't really need this. I already increased my aura pickup as well, so I would be left with max HP plus 5%. See, everything here is kind of useless for me. So in this case, you could of course take whatever you would like to. I prefer the aura pickup because, as you can see on the field, there's a lot of stuff here that I haven't picked up yet. And by increasing my range, I just pick everything up. You know what I mean? Makes it easier. Probably the best case scenario for me would have been here to either increase my max HP or for the recovery, but I personally prefer the aura pickup. Here again, easy choice. We see Netero, that's a character that we play, we take that. Easiest choice ever. Here, one more time. Another throw count, perfect, we take for the character that we play. Here, Hisoka, right? Most of these decisions are in fact pretty easy if you go by the logic that I just told you about. Increase everything that your characters do. Take the perks that cater towards your characters. Here, I play Leorio. Every time Leorio strikes, he heals me, so I increase his strike count, right? Very, very easy, very, very simple and straightforward. Here you can see yeah, you pick just everything up that lays on the ground. Sometimes it's a huge coin, sometimes it is a box with a lot of beneficial upgrades, like right here, the wind fists that need to roll throughout, they increase in size, super beneficial, super good, because now I hit multiple enemies with these fists, and yeah, not just 1 or 2, but 3 or 4, right? So super good here. And again, whenever you pick up a perk that caters towards what your character does, at some point their ability evolves. For example, if I evolve the ability for my Hisoka, it goes completely berserk. Here, aura gain, damage taken, aura pickup, right? I've already taken aura pickup twice. I definitely don't need this one again. So I go for the damage taken reduction here. And yeah, it's gonna be fine, right? Nothing groundbreaking, but the best choice that was presented to me. The aura gain is pretty useless. If you would ever go for the aura gain, you want this to be like your first or second perk. If you get this as late as I do here, don't even consider going for it. And yeah, here you can see, right, the perk on the right hand side, it would be in theory also for a character that I play, but that is more for a character that appears here because I have him in my memory fragments, or whatever they are called, in these memory things that I showed you earlier. On these characters you don't have to care about. Remember what I told you earlier, that you want to pick up the perk for aura range gathering, right, once, or yeah, in my case it was twice, or here the skateboard that increases your movement speed by 5%. This is also very beneficial to pick it up once or twice if, right, no better options are presented to you, of course. But always go for at least a little bit of movement speed increase. It depends a little bit on what map you are. You can see here that this map is pretty limited in space, so movement speed is not all too great here, but it is always still worth it to pick it up at least once. Other maps, other areas, they would be more open, and therefore the movement speed would be more beneficial, and you want to pick up, of course, more movement speed, needless to explain. So, shooting the coins or the basic skill duration, yeah, I go for now for shooting more projectiles, right? Because, yeah, I do not get my upgrades for either Hisoka or Netero. And that's really how simple it is. Here, another throw count, this is always a no-brainer, right? As soon as you see upgrades for Hisoka coming up, that's a no-brainer to take immediately. Here, basic skill size, plus 5%, also incredibly good. Also something you should, always consider picking up. But right here, +1 shuriken thrown, that is even better, right? Again, you want to increase the amount of projectiles that you throw out on the field by as much as possible. This is always priority. Yeah, you could go for a little bit more coins that you gather throughout the run, but that is more for a farming strategy that you will do a little bit later on in the game when you beat an easy stage, so to speak, on autoplay, right? You would never pick this up if you play manually, so I go here again for another movement speed increase. This is one of the most important perks of them all, right? Other than your character upgrades, other than your leader upgrades, you always pick Ben's Knife for damage dealt plus 5%. See, every single projectile that we throw out on the map, which we do a lot, for all of them, the damage is increased by 5%. Everything that you do, every single damage that you deal is increased by 5%. You want to stack this up, and you want to take this every time it presents to you. This would I would take even this Ben's Knife, I would take it even over Netero upgrades. I would only prioritize my leader perks over this Ben's Knife. It's one of the best perks in the entire game. Always take it if you get the chance. And yeah, just run around the map, see that you don't run into any enemy, and you're gonna be fine. Here, this is attack basic skill duration. Yeah, attack one more enemy. Here, those are the enhancements that you get for free by picking up these treasure chests that are laying on the map. That is why I run into all of these enemies right here, to grab the experience on the floor and this very treasure chest that was laying there. Here, this is an item that lets you gather all the experience on the entire map for free. So yeah, always walk around, look for the items that are on the map and try to get them, right? And yeah, now you know which perks to prioritize, what to go for. I wish I could present to you how it looks when I actually upgrade the basic attack for Hisoka, because it is quite nuts. It is actually upgraded. You see this? When I throw my cards now, you can see it on your screen. They bounce back. I throw cards. They increase in size and in their damage output, and they come back. It's actually really insane. You play it yourself. If you reroll for Hisoka, you will very early on realize what I mean here. So yeah, +1 hand count, right? I have these hands on the map, these projectiles in forms of hands. They increase in size, they increase in count, so very, very beautiful, and what I want. And you can see here, my Netero and my Hisoka, they have ultimates ready. So you can see, right? I use this, there is a cutscene, you can skip this cutscene easily, and boom, I just dealt a lot of damage to the very boss right here. But yeah, that's really about it, right? Dodge all the projectiles that are thrown at you. Don't run into enemies. And you see, the boss, there's a very, very high likelihood that he will kill you once. This is done on purpose by the developers, so that you actually watch that ad. And that's why you need this ad-free license that I told you about earlier, and you really want to consider buying this to dodge this ad that is thrown at you. Since I'm talking a lot and I'm not paying too much attention to the fight right here, I'm actually in risk of dying, but yeah, we clutched it out, and that was my beginner guide when it comes to the brand new gacha game HUNTER NenxSurvivoR. I hope this video was fun and informative. If you want to see more content from me about HUNTER NenxSurvivoR, please consider leaving a follow on my channel. I would really appreciate it. But until next time, take care of yourselves, have a great day, peace.